Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, rather had fun.
We have Pickleball's sweetheart, Michael Lloyd here today, off of an incredible run over at the PPA World Championships, beating Miguel Alda, Dave Bacala, Ben Jones, JW Johnson, and Kwang Dong before falling to Fetty Staksrud. Michael, you've been around pickleball for a decent amount of time, but I feel like this is a lot of people's first real look at you over the last couple of years. How does it feel?
I mean, crazy. I mean, it is funny, like you said. I've been around it for a little bit. I think most of the pros know me now, and the people within kind of the inner pickleball space know me. But yeah, now there's a million random people coming up to me at tournaments asking for an autograph, for me to take a picture, and it's kind of surreal, but it's just super fun trying to enjoy it right now.
Yeah, for sure. So Miguel Alda, that's a good win. Dave Bacala, I actually knew from back in the day from tennis, but those are matchups that you're probably expecting to win. Going into playing against Ben Johns, are you like expecting to win actually?
So it's funny because I think I told myself going into it, like, okay, funny enough, I played Ben in Colorado about like a year ago, and I had game points on him. And that was the first time in pickleball where I was like, okay, like I could actually do something. So I definitely did have the belief going into it, but it was so funny because that morning I talked to like 4 or 5 different people, whether it was like a pro or just somebody else asking me like, oh, who do you play today? And it's like, oh, I'm playing Ben. And it was like, oh, like, good luck. Like, like they would kind of wince as soon as I said it. And I told myself, I was like, before anybody says anything to me, like, I'm just going to like make sure that I'm in the space where I'm blight. I believe it. And so the joke that I just kept saying was like, oh yeah, I'm playing him, but I think he's scared of me. Like, just joking. Like, I have all the respect for him and all that. But I knew that a bunch of people were going to kind of write me off before we even got there. And, yeah, I definitely had the belief. It was more so just making sure nobody else took that away from me before I even got on the court,
For sure, yeah. You don't want to show up mentally defeated, especially in singles, right?
Yeah.
I feel like singles is far more prone to somebody getting hot, right, or somebody getting cold on the other side of it, right? So there are a decent slew of players that can give players very good games. I mean, we had Brandon French taking a game off of Ben a few weeks ago in Vegas. So yeah, I mean, in singles, I feel like the level is actually super even in a way where you can kind of get hot with for a certain amount of time. And I think it's probably fair to say you were hot in game 1, 11-3.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I came out just like buzzing, like serving big, hitting the back of the baseline a couple of times, getting a couple of free points. And once I kind of got up on him early, like I could kind of see, obviously Ben is a guy that you can never ever write off, but you could kind of see like, okay, there's a little bit of momentum going my way. Maybe he's got some poor body language, which anytime as a competitor you can see somebody kind of giving you that, you're like, okay, like I have a chance. And for me, the mentality was like, okay, step on this early, get the first game, sit down and try to gather yourself after that and see if you can kind of step on him in the first 2. And so fortunately enough, was able to do that. He definitely had a big surge in the second game. And I think I got the ball back somewhere at like 8-9 or something, got a couple of points in a row to go my way. And then, yeah, had a sick point to finish it. I had, I think I got an inside in forehand, ripped it as hard as I could, and then just sprinted forward. Honestly thought I was going to get an easier ball. He got it like down at my ankles, reset it perfectly cross court in the kitchen. And as soon as I hit it, I was like, okay, like I'm good. Like, you know what I mean? Like you hit the shot, you're moving forward. And I was like, okay, I've got this. And luckily enough was able to finish it off.
Yeah, so the little stab, that was such a difficult shot. Ben hit a really good volley down to your backhand. And when I saw this highlight, I was like, oh man, this is a crazy highlight. And then I realized it was match point and you're dancing around after you won it.
Yeah.
But you stabbed this disgusting get cross court. I feel like Ben's surprised. He hits a dink right up the line. But you finish it with an Ernie cross court angle away from Ben. And he's like, all right, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, and I, like you said on the clip, I'm dancing afterwards. I'm like so happy. It's unreal. I'm pointing to everybody in the crowd, just yelling 5 million times. And I saw some comment on the PPA where it's like, oh, like show us how you really feel. Like, because I was just happy. And
If you're like me, you might feel your body is slowing down, not bouncing back like it used to. I learned recently that that could be attributed to your mitochondria slowing down. And that's where DUPR comes in, which is a product by Timeline. It's backed by more than 15 years of dedicated scientific research. DUPR is clinically proven to help clear out the old, worn-out mitochondria, the energy centers of your body, to give you the reboot you need from the inside out. Timeline is offering 10% off your first order of DUPR. Go to timeline.com/thedink, all caps DINK, timeline.com/thedink. And you'll get 10% off your first order, and you can, renew that mitochondria, the powerhouse of the cell. That's from a movie. I don't remember what it is, or maybe a show or something like that. Go get yourself some Timeline.
All right, so back to pickleball.
yeah,
You beat Ben, and then I feel like it's very natural in a regular draw, a draw where you're playing throughout one single day, to really have that sort of let down match afterwards. I've seen it time and time again. Somebody has a big upset, and then they fall flat in the very next game an hour later or whatever. But the nice part is you had an entire day then to go focus on playing your next match, which ended up against JW Johnson. You weren't in any other events after beating Ben, correct?
correct. Yeah, I lost mixed the first day. I lost to you and men's the second day. And so Ben was the third day. And then I was just focusing on singles after that.
Yeah. So what is what are you doing after you beat Ben? I'm sure there's like a huge amount of text messages. I know I shot you a text message.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure there's tons of social media stuff. Are you checking all this stuff? Are you like really loving that, or are you trying to stay focused and keep it out of your mind? Like, what are you doing?
I mean, I honestly think I'm a guy that doesn't get too distracted by that stuff. I feel like I can separate it, but I was just feeling so much like love and support from everybody that I wanted to I replied to literally everybody that night. I think the Ben, I had like 130 unanswered text messages and like 70 DMs on Instagram from a million different people. And I tried to reply to like everyone, because I was like, I just appreciated it so much. Mm-hmm. Everybody reaching out to me, everybody just that excited for me. And I don't know, my girlfriend was like, hey, you don't have to like respond to everybody. Not like I felt like I needed to, but I was just like, I don't know, I just feel super grateful for everybody that's kind of hopping on and being a part of this. And I just wanted to say thanks to everybody and kind of feel the love. And that's kind of what I did. I was super focused still on the next day ahead. With J-Dub, I went and watched the end of his match with Dylan, so I caught the third game there. I had beaten J-Dub earlier in the year in like a backdraw match, so I was already familiar with his game. I'm somebody where I like to watch film, but I don't want to overwhelm myself. Mm-hmm. And with that particular match and with the match with Ben, I really only watched like a game of whoever they played the round before, and just relied on kind of, my knowledge of the scouting report from the last time that I played them, and was like, that's kind of all I want. I don't want too much in my head, especially going from Ben to J-Dub. There's a lot of similarities in their singles game.
Very similar game.
So I didn't want to overcomplicate it. Somebody, I think it was Cam, in the interview was like, hey, like, what's going to change? And I was like, absolutely nothing. Like, I just want to play my exact same game, serve big, go for the same shots. And luckily it worked out on that one as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I'm not gonna